All right, Jordan, let's roll right into probably what everybody came here to talk about coaching changes, right? It's all that's been talked about on social media, on Clemson pages, on message boards, wherever you consume your college football content. This has been um, beat to death, if you will. Possible coaching changes coming to Clemson, South Carolina, right? Possible departure of one Wes Goodwin, defensive coordinator for the Clemson Tigers. Obviously, we were talking backstage before we came on today, and our thoughts are Wes Goodwin's probably gone, right? Has the official announcement been made as of now? No, I know there's some stuff circling around on Twitter right now, but still nothing officially from the University of Clemson about Wes Goodwin's future. But I think I feel pretty as certain as you could possibly be as just a fan in our perspective without any internal connections of the program that Wes Goodwin is probably coached his last game as a Clemson defensive coordinator. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think that is about all you should feel confident in saying right now. I know everybody has their source. They're having a source off on Facebook and Twitter and the message boards. Everybody knows what's happening, what changes
Yeah,
Dabo is about to
yeah.
make, who's coming in.
Everybody knows Dabo Sweeney's plumber, or
Yeah,
his landscaper, or
yeah, and you're all hearing different things. But I do think one thing I feel pretty certain about is Wes Goodwin will not be Clemson's defensive coordinator in 2025,
yeah,
and that I don't believe that's the only staff change that'll be made. But beyond that, I think people need to be wary of where they're getting their information from.
right.
If you're just repeating message board rumors and all sorts of stuff, like it's very dubious. I think to kind of operate off of that. I see people freaking out about Dabo making an internal hire, and I mean, Lorenzo Ward is going to be Clemson's defensive
That's Clemson's
coordinator, or
DC. Didn't you hear?
yeah,
Uh, uh,
um, just all sorts of crazy stuff. Like I think people need to relax.
yeah.
January 6th is coming. That is when the staff meeting, the big staff meeting is coming. I don't believe you'll see anything official happen until after that takes place. But I do think people need to. I do think people need to kind of pump the brakes on some of the running with some of the rumors that are out there right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously going to be a ton of rumors on Twitter. People are going to post, oh, this is official, or I heard this, or this is Clemson's next DC, or I mean, Clemson don't have a next DC because Wes Goodwin still hasn't been officially fired yet. Do we think he's going to be let go? Absolutely, I have no doubt about it. But to your point, Jordan, watch your sources. Make sure they're credible. If a guy plugged in like a David Hood posted, it's probably pretty credible. Or Jason Priester, who comes on this channel sometimes and does some content for us as well. Probably a pretty credible source there. So if those two guys say it, you could probably believe it. But some rando on Twitter, probably not.
Tiger fan 1 2 3 4
Yeah.
that knows
account that was
every coach
created
in
a
the
week ago.
program.
Yeah, probably not the source that you should be trusting when it comes to these things. But I do think that Wes Goodwin will be let go as DC. I think David Hood did. They do an Orange Crush podcast over on the TNet channel on YouTube. So if you guys want to go check it out, go check that out. It's a good podcast. He didn't mince words when he said Wes Goodwin is no longer a part of the Clemson program, as far as he understands it, right? Which is the writing's on the wall. He's going to be let go. It's just a matter of time, right? But if you look at how Dabo Sweeney tends to make these changes when he does, look at the Brandon Streeter. Brandon Streeter got fired, and Garrett Riley got hired within like an hour of each other, like the two announcements. It was crazy. It happened right before we were coming on the air one time for this current show that we have, which was amazing for that show. But best believe that Dabo Sweeney probably already knows who he wants. Does he have that person locked up yet? I don't know, but he tends to do these things very behind the scenes, and then it all comes to light at once. It's kind of how he operates and how he rolls. So um, I fully believe he has a plan. Do I think Lorenzo Ward's going to be the next DC at Clemson? No. Do I think he's going to make an internal hire? No. I think he's going to go outside of the program. I think he's going to go get somebody that he wants. And we'll find out when we're supposed to find out. There'll be speculation between now and then. Who's it going to be? I honestly have no idea who it's going to be. I have no clue. But I trust that Dabo will make the right hire.
Yeah, and more importantly, I think one thing that I've appreciated about this iteration of Clemson's administration is that they have been willing. They've nudged Dabo in the in a certain direction at times in the past. The Brandon Streeter firing is a great example.
Yeah.
I think what Graham Neff has done. I don't think he gets a lot of credit, but one thing that he has done really, really well is that he hasn't just stepped in and been a yes man. He's been 100% behind Dabo, but he's also been vocal behind the scenes about and he's done a really good job at kind of nudging things in a more modern direction in terms of Clemson football and other athletic programs at Clemson. So I think there's going to be 100% going to be it's going to be an outside hire. I don't really have much worry about it being an internal hire. We'll find out when we find out. Yep. But I think, like I said, people need to be wary about where they are, gleaning their information from, and because everybody thinks they know somebody or know what's going on, but at the end of the day, it's an ongoing search, ongoing situation. Like you have to, things are changing by the day, by the hour.
Yeah, I mean, and look, there's a lot of stuff going on within the program, right? We just went through probably a week straight where probably Dabo's full focus was, let me retain my roster, right? Let me get these guys shirt up. Let me get these guys paid. Let me get these guys locked back in for another year. Now that that's over, he's probably turned his his attention to focusing on coaching staff changes, right? Not that he wasn't working with it simultaneously, but the main focus was retaining the roster. Now that that's locked up, now that coaching search will probably get more and more aggressive. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see who it is. There's a lot of questions by Clemson fans, right? When's the announcement of Wes Goodwin being fired going to happen? Who's going to be the next DC? What other coaching changes could possibly happen? There's a lot of names being thrown out there for possible targets that Clemson may target. But like you said, the staff comes back on the 6th. They got the football banquet on the 11th. The players come back like a couple days out, I think like the 7th or 8th. The players are back in town. So a lot of moving pieces, but I believe that Dabo Swinney will hire a experienced defensive coordinator to take over for the Clemson Tigers. Who it's going to be, honestly, I have no idea. I don't know if you have any wish candidates out there, Jordan, that you want to share. But
I have a couple.
I don't know who he's going to go after. But who would you like to see him pursue? If you had you were CEO of Clemson for the day and you could pull out a defensive coordinator that's realistic for Clemson, obviously. Obviously, you can't go get, everybody. But who would you like to see Clemson target?
I think Clemson should go get Kirby Smart. No,
that'd be great. I would fully support that hire. Kirby Smart, book it here, clip this. Kirby Smart's coming to Clemson to be the DC. I'm 100%. Sure social media will love that.
It would be just that would be great. But no, I think a guy I've always liked. If you could go get Phil Parker I think Phil Parker might be my like dream defensive coordinator. I know he's old, like he's older. Like I don't think he would be around much longer. But and he's just been entrenched at Iowa. But Phil Parker has had phenomenal top 5, top 10 defenses with a horrendous offense for most of his time. I think and he's done it every single year at a consistent rate without 5-star, talent to work with. I think Phil Parker is the best defensive coordinator in college football right now. I think a guy like, a guy that's currently in the NFL, Jim Leonard, who was, he was at Wisconsin for a good bit. I think that would be a phenomenal hire. I think you want to. I like guys that have fielded consistently strong defenses at places that don't have a ton of talent, but at the Power 4 level. Like I think those are the very obvious guys. Like Jim Knowles did it at Oklahoma State, and then before he went to Ohio State, like that would be like he was that type of guy, and you've seen what Ohio State's defense has done.
It's amazing
during his tenure, the turnaround that they've made.
Look at them tonight against Oregon. They've been absolutely just. I mean,
how many sacks did they end up with? They had 6 when I was watching at one point. I don't know if they.
I don't know what their final sack total was,
but they were phenomenal.
They were confusing Dalen Gabriel. They were getting pressure with just the front guys.
I would love to have a guy like Jim Knowles, but
and just a couple years at Ohio State too. I mean, remember the Ohio State defense before he got there?
Sheesh, man. They were rough. Like
they were bad. They were downright bad.
After Ryan Day had that 2019 his first year, that defense was phenomenal, and then they were god awful from 20 to 22 basically, and then they the hire of Jim Knowles was a game changer, and it took it took a season or two.
Yeah,
like they weren't like they improved each year, but they didn't. But this year they've been
lights out. They ended up with 8 sacks and 13 tackles for loss tonight.
Yeah, that'll do in a playoff game against that Oregon offense. Yeah,
against that offense. That'll get the job done.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll see what direction. Like those would be the high premium names. But we'll kind of see, how this continues to play out. But I agree with you. I think Dabo is, I think similar to the Brandon Streeter hire or firing, it was a realization that okay, well I tried to give my guy a shot.
Yeah, but he just wasn't ready.
Yep, he wasn't ready. It was a mistake. And honestly, I think Wes Goodwin was even more of an unconventional and unnecessary experiment than even Brandon Streeter was, because Brandon Streeter had at least coordinated offenses before, not at a school like Clemson, but he had been an offensive coordinator in other places. He had been in the program a long time. He was a quarterback coach. Like he knows, he's been in coaching. Wes Goodwin, he was an assistant to the head coach in the NFL for a year, and he was a GA, and that was it. He's no coaching experience whatsoever, and I think it truly sets you back unnecessarily. I think in a lot of ways. So I think the MO for Dabo this time around is going to get somebody that has proven it and has done it at a high level.
No doubt about it. And ultimately, like I said, who that ends up being, I don't know, but I truly do feel that it will be somebody that is very experienced with play calling and with running defenses. And I think that's important. At a place like Clemson, you don't have to settle for experimental coaches, especially at the coordinator level.
Yeah.
You should have a very experienced guy that knows what he's doing, and I fully expect that's what Dabo is going to do. So I'm excited to hear who it is, and I'm excited to see what they can do because, look, you get an experienced, elite level defensive coordinator in here. I mean, they got the talent is on the roster to get back to that top 10 level defense that Clemson is so used to being at, specifically on the defensive side of the ball, right? So I'm excited to see the change made there. Will that be the only change? Probably not. But what other coaches are let go or switched out? Strength and conditioning is probably a place of question right now. I don't know. I don't know what else he's going to do, but I do know that changes will be made. Definitely the defensive coordinator, and we'll see what else goes after that.
Absolutely, and we'll be here to talk about it. What day is the 6th? What today is Wednesday, so Monday. Yeah, Monday. So
yeah, Monday. So Monday, maybe we'll hear something Monday, but probably sometime next week.
Yeah,
for sure, at least officially on that coaching change. At least letting Wes Goodwin go. Will the new DC be hired by then? I'm not sure. I guess it depends on who he's going after.
Yep.
Is he going after somebody still coaching right now? I don't know.